one with the event organizer. House right here. Okay, I'm going to call it. Okay, great. Thanks, guys. Halle, we're going to follow him this way. Thank you. We'll see you backstage.
See you back at Halle.
Thank you, guys.
And head cheerleader. She did not let whatever challenges about being biracial stop her. She was already a leader at that time and finding her way. And she also, as we know, competed in beauty pageants and won all sorts of titles from Miss Teen All-America, Miss Teen Ohio, and awarded runner-up in the Miss USA competition. And certainly, she is that Bond girl with a heart of gold. Ladies and gentlemen, if we could please rise to your feet, give a standing ovation and a beautiful City Gala City Summit welcome to Miss Halle Berry.
Happy to be here. Thank you.
And it's a privilege to have you here. And you and I were talking upstairs about, different things that are going on in our lives. And you've got a busy, busy life. And I've been asking a lot of people I've been interviewing this question. Are you focusing more now on opportunity or on your passions?
I think I'm focusing on both because I believe when opportunity and your passions meet, then you have success. So I'm kind of focusing on both of those things. I'm trying to figure out what opportunities I have, but what I'm good at the same time, and see if I can somehow marry those two together.
That makes you feel like you're living a purpose-filled life.
Most of the time, yeah.
Okay. We were talking about mentorship. And has mentorship played a big role in your life, like either being one or having one?
Yeah, I am very close to my 5th grade teacher. I met her when I was 10 years old. I've known her now 40 years. She is the godmother of my 2 small children. And if it were not for her, I really shudder when I think about the course of my life. I'm not so sure I'd actually be sitting here, and not in this capacity, that's for sure. I was sort of a latchkey kid. My mother worked. She had to. She was a single mom. She worked tirelessly. And Yvonne Sims, my teacher, sort of filled in the gap. And she took me in, she would take me to her home so I wouldn't be home alone. She taught me about my Black history. She was an African American teacher. She taught me my part of my history that I wasn't learning in school, and she filled me with worth and value and substance. And without her, I'm really not sure where I would be. So as a result of that, I have taken it really seriously as I think about mentoring other young people, and I've mentored several young people over the course of my lifetime. I've always known how important that is.
As I was sitting here staring at you, I was thinking if I had hair, that'd be my look. Right there. I like that.
Well, this is movie hair. Sometimes when you get in the character, you gotta change your thing.
All right.
This is what this is.
And
you can have it.
Well, thank you very much.
Because I didn't have it about a month ago either. You can have it. I'm gonna take it off in about a week. You can really have it.
There we go. So it's so funny. So, you live a life that most people can only dream about. And it's just your normal life, right? But other people aspire. The big question is, what's left on your bucket list? Like, do you have a big thing that you'd like to do? Do you want to go walk on the moon or something of that nature?
Like, in terms like thrill-seeking, I would love to, when my kids are grown up and well on their way, I would probably, I have this desire to skydive. I'm afraid to do it now for fear, obviously I'm a mom. But when they're grown up, that's something that I aspire to do, challenge myself. I'm scared to death of that, but it's a fear I want to face at some point in my life.
It's weird. It's kind of violent. As people don't look at it because you think of that free falling, but when you're falling to 150 miles an hour...
Real violent, especially if you hit the ground.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if you feel much of that. All right, so here's one of the questions I put out to Facebook, questions that people would like to ask you. And this is one that kept coming up. Then would you turn off that microphone? We're getting a lot of feedback here. It says, it seems in life we all can manage things that go right. Everyone can handle things when they go your way. But we learn more about someone's character on their bad day than all their good days put together. The question is, what hurdle have you overcome that you're most proud of today?
I have so many hurdles that I feel like I've overcome. I have learned to deal with 3 failed marriages, which has not been easy, especially when there's children involved. And you know, I think everybody, especially women, we go into a marriage thinking that it's going to last forever and this is our prince, you know, on that shiny horse. That's what fairy tales taught me as a kid, and I'm kind of anti-fairy tales today. But we go in there with that hope, and so when it falls apart, you know, it feels like a huge failure and a huge disappointment. And I have often felt guilty and responsible, and I've suffered a lot of pain and anguish. And what I have learned is that in every one of those situations, as hard as it was and sometimes embarrassing, I learned so much about myself. So all of those relationships were necessary for me. We all come here with lessons that we have to learn. And those relationships provided me the lessons that got me to where I am right now. And so for that, I'm grateful. But it's been hard. It's been a difficult part of my life.
You know, you've made an emotional impact on a lot of people when they see you in your roles. The question keeps coming up, how could we make an emotional impact in people's lives around us? Like you mentioned your kids and things of that nature. Is that something you focus on?
I do. Right now, being mom is my most important job, and I now know that everything I do, everything I say, everything I offer them is really important. You know, I say lots of things, but I think what's more important is my children watch what I do. Because I remember growing up and I would hate when my mother would say, "Don't do it." "Why, Mom?" "Because I said so." Well, you know, no. So now I'm mindful of what I say to my children, but I'm more mindful of how I live my life, what they see me do. If I want them to be kind, I have to show them kindness. If I want them to be curious, I have to show them my own curiosity. If I want them to be smart, I have to show them that I'm continuing to learn every day. If I want them to be humble, I have to teach them how to give and how to care about other people. If I want them to be grateful, I have to make them know they have to give their toys away once a year and give to others. You know, so I've learned it's not just the words, it's what action do I put behind those words that I think are most important for my kids.
I want to go back to what you just said. It's interesting. I have a 4-year-old son. And for Christmas, what happened is all the toys he got, he then exchanged his old toys to people that can't have toys.
Yep.
Did I hear you say you do something very similar?
That's what we do. Every year, the old ones go out and the new ones come in. Yeah, it's really important. And you know, my kids get so much out of, my kids take the toys to the Genesee Center sometimes. They get so much out of hand-picking each one of those toys and giving it to some other child and telling that child the story and making sure they're going to take care of it and tell them how they used it. It really is important, and it makes them feel really good about themselves.
What's the greatest lesson you learned from one of your kids?
Patience. I learn every day how to breathe, keep my inside voice inside, and just continue to, you know, love them through all of those moments.
Yeah, I've had 3 marriages as well. So
oh, really?
We can exchange numbers backstage. So here's the deal. All right.
Maybe we shouldn't.
Exactly. So
My track record's too bad.
I like that. So here's the big question. What project are you working on right now that you're most passionate about, and how can we be of support to that?
Well, there's 2 things, actually. Can I tell you about 2 things?
Please.
One thing, a movie I just finished called Kings, a la This Hair. It's a movie that sets place around the Rodney King riots of 1992. And I think based on where we are in the world right now politically and what's happening with this whole movement of Black Lives Matter, I think this is a really poignant piece that will inspire people to think more deeply, to understand maybe how we as a society have gotten to where we've gotten with everything that's happening. And it's a young female director that's just super amazing. And the most important part is there are these African American children and Spanish children that got to work in this movie, and I got to see them grow every day and their imagination be born and their confidence, you know, be boosted, and it's something that I hope people will go out and support when it comes out. Yeah.
Fantastic. And then what personal, mission is important to you to share with other people?
I I think the work that I'm doing right now with the Genesee Center, it's a home for battered and abused women and children. I think it's so important we take care of our children. And while I work with organizations around the world, World Hunger and Diabetes, I think it's really important we also stay mindful on helping our own right here in our own backyards. So I make sure, I've worked with this organization for 18 years, and it really is a passion trying to transform and help women help themselves, because trying to raise money for a domestic violence shelter is, I can't think of anything harder, because most people say to me, well, Halle, why don't they just leave? And I'll say, oh, as if it were that simple. But people think that it is. So it's been sort of my life's work in a way, and I will always stay committed to helping educate people and getting women to talk about it, because the subject is so taboo. It affects so many people, not just the underprivileged and impoverished, as many people think. It touches all walks of life and all women.
Put your hands together for Halle Berry.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.